Hello and welcome to a World of Tanks replay featuring the T49 Tier 5 American Tank Destroyer. Overall this is a good matchup for the T49. Highest tier is Tier 5, and with this tank's mobility and its considerably fast fire rate, you can make pretty quick work of most tanks in a game like this. It could even be argued that even in Tier 6 game this tank can remain rather competitive because of the fire rate. Anyway, at the moment I'm making my move towards what could be considered a common position for a tank destroyer early game on Ensk. And my modules are a shell rammer, an enhanced gun laying drive, and also the camo net. So at the moment I'm trying to get some early spots, but I've got nothing so far. So the T28 decides he's going to move up and see what he can do. So I decide I'll move up as well, see if I can spot anything, but no, nothing, and he takes quite a considerable amount of damage, but I can't see anything. So I decide to keep my position and try to scout through the bush to see if I can spot anything, but can't see anything at the moment. However, if you saw to the left just then, something had knocked something down, and that T46 was possibly the tank. However, a Wolverine appears. Now, I was weighing up my options here. Should I shoot at the Wolverine? And I didn't think I'd be able to penetrate it, but then a Stug appears. I couldn't see the Stug. It appears. I have to take a shot and try and run. Luckily, it only hits my tracks. So I make a quick run, a quick dash over here, get a flank on the Stug and quickly secure a kill. This Matilda gives me a bit of problems, but then I realise that the Wolverine isn't actually advancing on me. So I take my chances with Matilda and try to quickly finish him off as fast as my fire rate will allow me. Luckily for him though, he does escape with 15 HP. So now I decide to reposition again to try and get hits on this Wolverine, and he gets killed. So now it's just a T46, and here I just have a dreadful dreadful time really. Just my gun just won't hit the target. I take a lot of damage here that I really shouldn't have taken. But I really want to take this guy out. Again, miss. As you see, I finally do kill him, but I'm left with 16 HP. And they are also sitting on the cap, so I decide my best action that I can do right now is to try and destroy their strongest tanks. So I try my luck with this KV-1. As you see, I'm on his flank, so I take a shot, get the second shot, and it's too risky to stay there now. So I keep on pulling back and continue on towards the cap. So after looking that way and seeing not picking up an enemy, I have to conclude he must be somewhere closer to this section. So we can see, I find the person capping and take him out. At this point it's just me and a KV-1 left against 4 enemy tanks. So now I'm going on a hunt for their artillery pieces, seeing if I can find any of them. Look like a silly move here and forget that that's the edge of the map. So now I start playing with the grill and get some good hits on him and try and move around him and miss a shot and finish him off. So now I'm going to try and find the next artillery piece. and I've also decided that it's safer to move around the edge of the map rather than to go through the town at this point in time, because I'm the final tank. I have no support from anyone and no way of knowing where the enemies are. So not much happens for a while now, so I'll speed this up to get through the field. But I'm using this as a flanking maneuver really, to try and keep a surprise on my side. And here, suddenly the KV-1's next to me. So I pull back, aim down, take him out. So now it's a 2 versus 1 scenario. I'm still only on 16 HP, so they could even ram me at a pretty slow speed and I could possibly die. But again, what I have to do is try and use my tank's mobility and fast fire rate to win. So as you can see, I'm going down. I'm just basically trying to find them. What I was hoping here is to come across the artillery alone and leave me in a one-on-one scenario, which would be a pretty easy win, but here's where it happens. As we can see, I've come across both of them at once. In reality, the best course of action here would have been to continue to the left and get behind these buildings. However, as often happens, I became a deer in a headlight, as you could say. I became startled and just stopped to take a shot. That was a mistake. That was me done. That game could have been a win if only I had taken the left rather than stopping. So now we'll go into the post-game stats. Now moving on to the post-game stats, you can see that I came out with 1,443 experience with premium. That's a hefty amount of experience for a loss. I also significantly damaged a large portion of the enemy team. I damaged 10 out of their 15 tanks. However, moving on to the team damage details, we can see that unfortunately for me, 6 tanks on my team did 0 damage. Had they even contributed 10-20 damage each, the game could have been very different. As we can see on the enemy team, only one of their tanks had failed to do a single amount of damage. So overall, it was a good game. Had I taken the left at the end, it could have ended very differently with a win. But unfortunately, I made a mistake, and that's what can lose a game in World of Tanks. So, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and you'll watch my videos in the future. So, see you next time.